Good evening, guys, and welcome to the streets of India. Today we are back in Delhi. We've got a little bit of a break day. Actually today was more of a travel day where we were coming in back from Muradaabad, but I decided it's a great opportunity for us to try out some of the street food here in Delhi. Delhi has one of the best street food scenes in the world, and I'm really excited because today we're gonna try some foods that I haven't had so far here in India. I'm excited to try these things. So with that, let's go ahead. Let's see what India has to offer. You can see the hustle and bustle of India right behind me, and there's no better time to start eating through Delhi than now. So with that, let's go ahead and start this Delhi street food tour here in the evening. The day we have come to a place known as Dolma Aunty Momos. This is a legendary place. Apparently they serve some of the best momos you're gonna find in Delhi. And the good thing about Delhi is that you get food from all over India. You get food from South India, you get food from North India. And momos, as I've mentioned before on this channel, traditionally comes from Tibet. But that doesn't mean you're not gonna find it here in Delhi. Delhi is the culmination of all the best foods of India, and here, sure enough, you're gonna get some of the best momos. Now, look at all the people here. Earlier it was raining and we ran by this place and it was still packed with people. So this place is a legendary place to get momos. It is busy all day, all the time, all year long. It is crazy busy because it is supposed to have some of the most legendary momos. Now, what have we gotten? We've gone the classic momos, the original steamed vegetable momos. They look incredible, and the way they do it is like they have these momos steaming in this massive steamer. And then on top of that, what you do is that you get some of that sort of chili sauce on the side. They have a little bit of yogurt, and I think they've even added a few spices on top just to give it a bit of flavor. But the momos look incredible. I mean, you can see how many people here are enjoying the momos. There's a reason so many people come here. It's because these momos are supposed to be some of the best you're gonna find in Delhi. So with that, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get our first momo. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and dip it in that red chili sauce because I love spice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, dip it in just a bit of that light chili sauce, and let's go ahead and try it out. Wow, I thought the momos that I had in Muradaabad were really good, but these are just better. There's a few things we want. First off, the chili sauce. It has a really nice kick at the end of the experience. So it's not something that's really heaty at the front of the mouth. It's something that really kicks you up at the back of your throat. That's a really good type of spice. But to be honest, it's not that spicy. It's not spicy to the point where you can't eat it anymore. It's actually a really nice sort of spice. The actual momo inside, you can see all the lettuce and the carrots that are inside. The good thing about this momo is that they've actually cut these vegetables very finely. And the actual skin covering the momo is as thin as it gets. It is like paper thin. That's what you want in a momo. You don't want a momo that's too thick, that has too much skin, but very little filling. Here, it's the opposite. There's so much filling. It's literally pouring out of my hand. That's how much filling there is in this momo because they know what they're doing. They're packing it with all the ingredients they can. There is a reason this place is so popular. I have to say, this has to be the best momo I've had in my whole life. It is delicious. The vegetables have a really nice flavor to them. A really nice crunch as well. They haven't steamed it to the point where the vegetables have lost their crispiness. They've got a nice freshness, but yet they're not raw. They are still cooked. So it's an incredible balance of flavors, an incredible balance of not being too overcooked, but at the same time having just the right amount of cook, yet retaining the crispiness of the vegetables. Overall, one of the best things you can find here in India, and I'm just so glad we've managed to come to this place here in Delhi because this momo, absolutely legendary of a place. Wow, that momo, absolutely incredible. And to be honest, the chilies have a bit of almost like a kimchi taste to it. I don't know how to explain it, but this place, Dolma Aunty Momos, look at how many people are still here. I finished eating. It is still so crowded. It is so busy. And trust me, when so many Indians are crowded around one stall, it's serving some pretty good Indian food. So when it comes to momos, this has to be the place on your list. Let's go see what else we can eat here in Delhi.
when he may have wrong intentions behind doing so. You should immediately become alert.
I think it's so funny that here they have these warnings telling you what to do and what not to do. Like if someone's doing this, they're trying to rob you or trying to steal your clothes. It's a good way to have a police warning out. And the music's quite catchy. I think we've just come and we've actually met. Hi.
Hi.
Her name is Aarti Singh and she's got a really nice channel. What kind of videos do you do? Hairstylist. Wow, that's really, really cool. How is this studio? It's really good. Is this a good place? Alright, next stop of the day, we've come to an incredible place right here. This is called Ram Laddu. Now, if you remember my previous videos, laddu I've had before. It's like a sweet little bowl, a dessert bowl, and it's a really nice sweet. So when I heard that this place serves something called moongi dal laddu, I thought, well, this will be a nice little sweet break after those momos. But I am very much mistaken. Apparently, moongi dal laddu here is like a lentil sort of fried fritter ball, and you can literally see them making it right behind me. He's got a massive vat of oil. He's frying it up. He then puts it in this area to dry. He then tops it up with some onions and some vegetables, and that is how you make moongi dal laddu here in India. It's a very, very interesting type of food here because I've never seen something be savory and yet be called laddu. It is kind of deceiving in a way, but I'm very excited to try this out. You can see it's got some sauce on top, it's got onions, it's got some greens, it's got so many different ingredients and different flavors to it. So it's not just any laddu. However, the actual things are bowl shaped, so that is what we're going to go for. These little fritters that are just deeply, freshly fried right behind me. With that, without further ado, I gotta go ahead and give it my first try. We're gonna go ahead and take a little ball here. Oh, look at all of this. It's really, really hot actually, so you have to be really, really careful about it. But let's go ahead and take our first bite here of moongi dal laddu. That is absolutely delicious. Imagine a light, fluffy chicken nugget without the chicken, but instead you have like a batter inside, like a lentil batter that's got a little bit of an earthy taste to it. The chutney's on the outside, a little sweet. To me, not too spicy, but maybe for some people this might be a little spicy. You've got the freshness of the onions, adding a nice little crunch to it. That's really, really delicious. But to me, what's so surprising is how fluffy it is on the inside. It's like you're having a nice, very fluffy chicken nugget. That's the best way I can describe it. A very nice fluffy chicken nugget without the chicken on the inside. It's absolutely incredible, but unlike a chicken nugget, it is completely vegetarian. So if you're a vegetarian, this is a vegetarian-friendly place that you can try it out. There are so many people here. I mean, look at all these people right behind me. This Ram Laddu place is one of the most legendary places here in Delhi. So having this here on the streets of India, this is how you do it. I just still can't believe how fluffy it is. I mean, literally, you can see that when you squish it, it's so nice and soft on the inside. Absolutely an incredible find here in Delhi, India. Alright, next stop of the day today, we've come to this nice little street side stand here in a market called Chaap here in Delhi. And it's called Tandoori Delight because what they're doing is they're making something called Chaap. And Chaap is something that I have yet to try here in India. It's something that's actually quite unique that I don't actually see much outside of India. Chaap is basically this soy base mixed with flour until it's sort of boiled and then grilled into this delicious sort of almost meat substitute in a way, but not really meat. It's completely vegetarian, and it can be cooked, it can be grilled, and it's put in with a lot of different sauces. And it's something that you can actually find very commonly all around India. So it's a really, really nice sort of dinner snack, afternoon snack, and you can see here the really, really hot grill. That's what they cook the Chaap over. You need that heat, you need that sort of charcoal, you need that char in order to make Chaap really, really good. But what we've got here is we've got Afghani Chaap. There are different types of chops, and basically the chops are all the same. However, the sauces and the spices they put are different. So some of them have a creamier base, some of them are completely spiced, some of them have no cream at all. So it very much depends on your preferences. What I've gone here with is an Afghani Chaap, which you can see there's a bit of cream on top. You can tell that it's not just a completely spiced up chop. It has some spice, it has some cream, but it's not the spiciest version of Chaap that you can get. In fact, that would probably be the masala Chaap. But today, we're just going for the creamy Chaap to try it out. It comes with some onion, it comes with some of this green sauce, and it also comes with a roti, which is a really, really thin type of roti. It's almost paper thin, and I think you're supposed to mix it all together and have it in one bite. But before we begin all of that, before we mix it all together, we're gonna start off with just the Chaap by itself. You can see that he first grills it on this massive grill behind me, and then what he does is he cuts it up into little pieces, he mixes it in a bowl with all these different sauces, all these different spices, and then he adds some other things. He adds some other cream on top, some greens on top, and that's how you get the incredible Chaap that you have right in front of me. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get one piece of Chaap. I'm curious to try it out, I'm curious to see what the flavor is of Chaap. Let's go for it. That is something very interesting that I don't think I've ever had before. It is very interesting because it's very chewy. It's like a very gummy, chewy sort of flavor. Almost like if you had savory sort of chewy balls that by themselves don't have much flavor, but with the sauces and the spices and the creams that you put around it, add some incredible depth of flavor. It is a bit spicy, but it's not overwhelmingly spicy. You've got a bit of cream that balances out. I think the cream actually works really well. It helps to balance out all that spiciness, and it's absorbed into the flavor of the Chaap. Now, what we gotta do is we gotta use some of this really, really thin bread here, and we're gonna create a little, almost like a Chaap wrap. So we're gonna go ahead, take a bit of this bread. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of Chaap, we're gonna wrap it up really nicely. We're gonna get some onions as well, because there are some fresh onions, and I think that's gonna add a nice bit of freshness. Let's go ahead, this looks like a bite made out of heaven. Let's go for it. It's so good. The onions add this really nice freshness that you really need when you're having something with so much sauce, so much flavor, so much spice. The onion really cuts through it with that freshness. And the wrap, like I said, it's a paper thin wrap. You barely even taste it. It's so light. It's just keeping all those flavors wrapped in together so that you can hold it all together. Aside from that, the wrap has no other purpose. The Chaap is just so dominant with so many different flavors, so many different spices, so many different creams. I mean, this is a great plate of food. Like, there are so many things going on. The Chaap itself has so many different flavors, so many different textures. You've got freshness from the onions, you've got softness from the actual chewiness of the Chaap. Together, it is an incredible combination, and I see why Chaap is such a popular little snack here in India. That was absolutely delicious, that Chaap. Bit spicy, bit creamy, perfect textures. Couldn't ask for anything better. But I think we got some other things here in India that we gotta try, so let's go ahead. Let's go to the next stop. Let's keep trying things here in the streets of India. The street food here is absolutely incredible. The more I try, the more I love this place. Alright, I think after this I'm going to be completely stumped. So this is going to be the last stop of the day. Now there's been one thing that I've been dying to try here in India, and that is baan. Baan is this refreshing treat that is supposed to cool you down instantly. It's got a bit of a minty taste, it's going to clear your palate, it's going to cool you down. That is the whole point of baan. And we've come to this place right here. This place is called Shiva Pan. It's right across from the Chaap store that we were at earlier. And this place serves baan, the minty, fresh, refreshing sort of a snack that's supposed to really cool you down. Now you get it two options. You got it normal or cold, and I was really recommended that the cold way is the best way to do it, because that's just gonna taste better, this is gonna make you feel better, and it's gonna make you feel a lot more refreshed if you get it cold. So he literally takes it out of the fridge right over there, and you have it right in front of me on this small little plate. Now, to be honest, it's a very, very small little portion. It's not designed to be a massive sort of cooling thing. What I've gotten is a mita pan, which is a sweet sort of pan. But more than anything, more than being sweet, it's supposed to be refreshing. So with that, let's go ahead, let's try out our first pan experience here in India. We're gonna go ahead and give it a try. Oh wow, that refreshingness like hits me right up the nose. It's like an intense flavor of a slight sweetness, but overall just refreshing, like minty, really, really nice, but it's not exactly mint. You can see inside there's a bit of red. That is a different type of flavor. It's a different type of fruit. here in India that's found. It's just very, very refreshing. That's what pan is. I don't know how to describe it in any other language except that is pan. It is refreshing. It has a slight earthiness to it, slight bitterness to it, but also an overall flavor of sweetness. And just the taste of it, the temperature of it is so, so refreshing. I rarely talk about temperature of food on this channel, but here, the cooling temperature of it, and even the flavors are so cooling that it just instantly calms you down. India is a very hot country, so having pan here is the absolute best thing that you could ask for. It's very refreshing, and I have to say, it is one of the coolest things you can have in this country. I have to say, that pan, it's so refreshing. It's literally cleared my entire palate. I can't even taste the chop in my mouth anymore. It's just, that flavor is completely gone. It's just a peaceful, quiet buzz in my mouth. That's a very weird sensation. I've never had anything like before. You can see, I think I've got a little bit of redness between my teeth. That is from the actual pan itself. But with that said, what an incredible food experience it's been. We've had only an evening here in Delhi since coming back from another city, but nonetheless, we've really taken advantage of all the food that is on offer here, whether it's momos earlier to the moong ki dal laddu, which was super interesting, to chaap, to that delicious pan. I mean, all these flavors are what make India one of the most vibrant places to be. The food is incredible, it's flavorful, and in some cases, it can be very refreshing. It doesn't have to be as spicy as it sounds like. But what an incredible food day here in Delhi it has been here in India. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. It has been an absolutely incredible food day in this country, and we're gonna have so many more adventures here in India, so make sure to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and if you have enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And from here, I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.